Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we are hopping into a Lufenina Plus fight, and this is for Cyan's Lufenina Plus, and we're going to just see how bad we can wreck it here. So this would be like for Ceodore and for Cyan, right? It's like at launch. So I think this fight is really geared towards Ceodore because they want to do holy damage. The problem here is that the orb is non-lethal, so it's very easy to get around. Now you see my Leila right there. You might think, well, why am I using her? Because the enemies absorb magic, right? But if you imperil them and you're enchanted to that element, the weakness damage is going to take over. So Leila's first hit there, like, healed or like gave a bunch of brave to the enemies, but after that, she'll start to do weakness damage. So what I'm going to do in this video here, this is actually a pre-recorded one. I normally like do the audio live with it, but this one I had just pre-recorded like when I didn't have my mic with me and I just wanted to do a little bit of commentary over the top, right? So I probably won't talk through the whole video, but I'm basically going to give my rationale for how I did this run, right? So these bosses are actually quite aggressive, and Leila basically just cancels that all out. And this team, we're basically just ignoring the orb. And I have Ceodore LD, right? I've got Ico, like I've got holy damage, but I'm like, I just want to see if I can ignore it. And Leila does that, because you can see here, every time the enemies try to do anything, one is like Leila's dodging, but then also like the party HP damage down that she does is just protecting the party like so much. So like my party never comes anywhere near dying. The instant like we take any type of HP damage, Leila just jumps the party back up to attack again. So we're basically just kind of free to do what we want and ignore the orb. So Leila really is like stealing the show, I think, in this video. She is so good. Like, she is really, really good, right? And then I'm bringing Garnet and Locke, and now Garnet, also the enemy would be absorbing Garnet as well, but she can also, like, imperil for water and lightning as well. So Garnet will have a hit here and there where the enemies will, like, absorb everything, but then once she has the imperil on, then we're good to go, right? Locke is kind of nice here as well because these enemies love buffing themselves, and Locke can just steal the buffs right off if he wants to. So that's basically what I do here. This fight's a little bit longer than a typical fight, I think partially because I'm ignoring the orb. The bosses do put some pretty nasty like buffs on themselves to like decrease HP damage, and if you don't have an immediate way to take them off, you sometimes just have to power through that. So for sure this isn't like the cleanest run, right? It's not the most efficient run, I would say, but we get it done pretty decently well here. There is one point in the video where I know I accidentally let Leila's overhead fall off. So then it's like I get like one or two like really scary turns until I can put that back on. So yeah, make sure if you're using Leila, you want to make sure you're using her 35 to refresh that buff, so that's not falling off. But I'll go ahead, I'll stop the commentary here. I think it's pretty straightforward from this point. We basically are just letting Leila control the fight, while Garnet is supporting and doing damage, and Locke is doing damage and doing his whole thing. So anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. And I'll just put on some music here at the end. I'll crank up the music and feel free to enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch y'all in the next one.